Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be with you today. My topic would be emerging technologies shaping the landscape of online teaching. I'm going to discuss different kinds of emerging trends and virtual realities, and I'm also going to assess the impact of emerging technologies in online education. Did you know in 1495, Leonardo da Vinci designed the first humanoid robot? You can see the picture on the top there of the slide, and it's called the Mechanical Knight. 473 years after that, in the year 1968, Sutherland and Sproul developed the first virtual headset. On the right-hand side of my slide, you can see the evolution of the virtual headset from 1968 up till our age now, 2023, 2024, what we are using at the moment. Okay, I'm going to go with a quote from Stuart Brand. Stuart Brand is an American designer and also a writer. He's already in his 80s. And he said, once a technology or a new technology rolls over you, if you're not part of the steamroller, you're going to be part of the road. So this is very important. So let us see how we can alleviate the problem of becoming part of the road. Emerging technologies have a very important role playing in our educational system at the moment, especially from 2019, with the COVID pandemic all over the world. Technology is a major drive of change in the educational sector. Trends in education technology are influencing our classrooms, our curriculums, and also our teaching methods. The three most important technologies include virtual reality. Let me just go back. Virtual reality, the VR, the artificial intelligence, the AI, and also interactive apps like Zoom, Kahoot, and Google Classrooms, to name but a few. And I will explain all of them as my slides going on. There are numerous important emerging trends in education technology at the moment. I've decided to use these four because, in my opinion, these four would be the best to utilize in our online classrooms. The first one would be AI-powered learning environments. AI-powered learning environments provide students with personalized learning experiences. It also enables teachers to tailor lessons for individual students' needs, and it makes learning much easier and more engaging. I myself am using ChatGPT in my classes numerous times in my classes. When I don't know maybe a question or something that comes up that I'm not quite knowledgeable about, I will ask ChatGPT, and normally the answer is there in a few seconds. So I'm using ChatGPT in my classes very often, also to help me to structure my feedback very well for the students, to know what I must say and not to say it, every time in the same mode, because I do have some students that, private students that I have every day in my classes. So, to give them feedback every time is not so very easy. So I often ask ChatGPT to help me with the feedback. And we also have the bot, the Google bot one, that lots of people are using at the moment. The next is different kinds of reality. The first one is the extended reality, or XR. This is an umbrella name for all the technologies, for all technology that alters reality. So it will include the VR, the AR, as well as the MR technologies. So first of all, the VR, that's the virtual reality with the virtual headsets that you see on the picture there. It's fully immersive and digital environment. The example that I used here is the PlayStation VR. We use the headsets when we want to play games on the internet. The next one is the AR or augmented reality. This is a digital layer over physical elements. The example that we've got here is Google Maps. And on the picture, you will see we've got a tablet that is a digital layer that will enlarge the physical elements in the background. And that is exactly what augmented means. The word augmented means to enlarge. So you can enlarge things so that students can understand and visualize complex components in a much better way. The last one on the slide is the MR or mixed reality. This is a seamless blend of virtual and real worlds. The example here is the Magic Leap that lots of people are using in business and industries. Now, Magic Leap is a device consisting of a headset with semi-transparent glasses. Sorry, I don't know why it's going over to the other slides, but sorry, let me continue with a mixed reality. It is a device consisting of a headset with semi-transparent glasses connected to a light pack, and the viewer can see the virtual objects projected in their view. The next one is a very important tool. This is gamification of learning. A gamification is a very nice tool to use in your classes, and I especially think in our group classes it would be very nice to use more gamification. It makes learning more fun and engaging. It will also help students to retain more information. It will help them to understand better and also to remember better. It will also help with building skills like social skills. When students are competing with their teammates, they will have to have social skills to be able to compete and to do what the exercise want them to do. So gamification, in my opinion, is a very valid tool to use in our online classes. The other thing about gamification is that it gives you the learning with pictures and also with movement. So some of you are maybe early childhood teachers. You will know that when you teach a child to learn to read or to do maths or things like that, it's best to help them to learn with pictures and with movement. The more they play, the more they move, the better they will learn. And that is the main function of gamification, the movement and the play with pictures in a classroom. The next one is my favorite one. It is the automated assessment tools. On the right-hand side, you will see the most popular ones that are now used in education all over the world and in classrooms and also in online classrooms. These 8 has got different properties. So you have to look at all of them to understand which one would be the best to utilize in your specific classroom, in your specific lesson. My favorite one is the first one, the Mentimeter. The Mentimeter facilitates real-time feedback, and it also simplifies the collection and analysis of assessment data. It is a very fast tool to use, and it is an excellent tool to use in your classrooms. These automated assessment tools evaluate student progress. It will tell you where the student is at that moment, the path that the student is going to follow until the student reach his or her goal in the end. It will also give you insight into student performance and areas that need improvement. So this is very valuable for a teacher, especially when you've got students that need to improve in a certain area, like speaking skills or grammar or the pronunciation, those kind of things. It's very, very important that teachers must know what the students will need to improve their learning and to get to accomplish their goals in the end. These automated assessment tools also provide analytical data. And last but not least, it reduces assessment and feedback time. So this is a very valuable tool to utilize in your classrooms for all teachers in all circumstances. I think not just in online teaching, but in all situations in a classroom. It is very important that the teachers must be skilled to be able to, use these the new technology in their classrooms. The first thing that should be done is a needs assessment. You have to know where the teachers are and what path they are going to follow in the training. So in the end, to become knowledgeable about the learning materials and also the tools that they are going to use in their classrooms. The next thing is to identify relevant technologies that you are going to utilize in the classroom. It is very important to use the correct technologies, the technologies that you think would be the best in your circumstances in a classroom situation. Training programs should be developed. Hands-on training is also very usable for teachers. It can directly correlate their training to real-world applications. The next one is the peer learning communities. This is very important for especially new teachers. In my situation, where we have meetings in our Johannesburg Center, some of our teachers decide that we have to set up a WhatsApp group. Now, this WhatsApp group really helps a lot of teachers to discuss things that's going on in the classroom, how to use some lessons in the classroom correctly, good practices, and also any relevant information that is very important to teachers, and especially when you are a new teacher, that the more experienced teachers can help you with structuring your classroom and your lessons better. Continuous support should always be there from management side and also from the IT side. Last but not least, it should be, effectiveness should be evaluated to make sure that the teachers could use the tools that they are going to use in the classrooms. Are they trained enough and skilled enough to use the tools correctly? Do they know how to use the tools and how to help their students in the best possible way so that the students can have the benefit in the end? Now, with all things in life, integration of emerging technologies in online education has also got its pros and cons. Now, I will start with the cons here. The first one is the access. Now, one of the primary concerns is the digital divide. Not all students, unfortunately, have equal access to technology and the internet. So this could cause a huge problem. The next one is the data security. Now, educational technologies often collect large amounts of data on students. Ethical issues could arise on how this data is collected, how it's stored and used. So it is very important that we should also look at the data security. The third one is the autonomy and control. As technology becomes more integrated into education, there is a risk of diminishing teacher autonomy and control. But it is essential to maintain a balance where technology enhances teaching rather than replacing the human judgment or creativity. Social and emotional impacts. We all know that excessive use of technology and the internet is not a very good thing. This can have an implication on our social and emotional situations. Students could use too much screen time, and also their social isolation could be a problem. And then the other problem could be mental health issues. The second last one is the responsibility and accountability. Now, with the introduction of new technologies, there is a need for clear accountability frameworks. The question is, who is going to be responsible if technology fails, or if ethical guidelines are breached? So we have to take this also into account when you want to improve the classroom teaching and to use all these technologies in a classroom. The final one is the financial impact. Now, initial investment costs often requires a significant upfront investment in hardware, software, infrastructure, and training. If we look at the entry-level VR headsets, the virtual reality headsets, the lower cost ones, they range in from about $200 to about $400. And here we've got the example of the Oculus Quest 2, where it's not very, very easy to buy. It's not very inexpensive. And then the high-end VR headsets, that would be the HTC Vive Pros. They range from $600 to about $1,000. So we can see the financial implication is actually very high. Now, fortunately, there are pros as well. So let me discuss the pros with you. The first one is enhanced engagement. For example, the virtual reality and augmented realities can create simulations and visualizations that bring abstract concepts to life. This will increase students' interest and participation in your classrooms. The next one is personalized learning. Now, emerging technologies enable educators and teachers to tailor instruction to individual student needs more effectively. And I have discussed this in another part of the presentation. Accessibility, the next one. Technology can break down barriers to education by providing access to learning resources for students with disabilities and also for those in remote areas. The fourth one is collaborative learning. Now, online classrooms equipped with these emerging technology tools and things facilitate collaboration among students, regardless of their geographical locations. So, with the internet and the wearable technologies that we've got to our availability, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you will be able to connect. And that is a very good thing to utilize in our online classrooms, to use it for collaborative learning. The second last one, a real-world application, is also a very valuable thing for me as a teacher. Incorporating emerging technologies will allow students to develop skills relevant to the digital age that we're living in, and it will also help them with future jobs in the market, which will really help them to, when they want to do something or when they want to learn something, that you can virtually take them into that field that they want to learn. Here I think about the negotiations that I've got in my classes, or the meetings, that you can take a student virtually into a negotiation where they can deal with the real thing and learn how to do it very skillfully. And also in meetings, it could be very valuable to use these technologies in your online classrooms. The last one, innovation and experimentation. Embracing emerging technologies encourages educators, teachers to innovate and experiment with new methods and new teaching techniques in their classrooms. So, as you can see, the pros are, in my opinion, much more than the cons to use these things in your classrooms. I come to the end of my presentation with my summary. Now, the most important virtual reality, I've mentioned this before, and you will know, is the VR headset, which I think we could utilize very, very nicely in our classrooms. We could take the students on virtual field trips to discover places and countries and things that they would like to explore and don't have maybe the money or the time to visit or to go there. So VR headsets would be a total asset in our online teaching world to help students to learn and retain more information and to remember more things that we have taught them. The second one, the most important emerging trend, and here you will also heard my heart before, it is definitely the automated assessment tools, which can help teachers with more relevant structuring of feedback, and to give feedback to students, not just oh, you've done well, good job, I'm so happy that you've done this so well, all those cliches that we are all using in our after-class reports. We could use the emergent trends, the tools, to have more valid, structured feedback knowledge to give back to our students, which would help them to learn better, to know where they can look for extra information to learn, and also it will help you to become more knowledgeable about what the students' performances are, what the level of performances are, and how you can assist them to overcome barriers to learning, and also disabilities, learning disabilities, and things like that. The integration into online education, our technology in the hands of great teachers would be transformational. And that will help us to become the steamroller and not the road. Thank you very much.
Wow, Tess, thank you so much for that incredible presentation. If we have a couple of minutes left, we did get through some really interesting questions. So if I pitch some of those to you, would that be okay with you?
It will be fine with me. I will try to answer them.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Apologies if you've asked a question and we don't have time to get round to it, but we shall do our very best. Okay, so question number one, Tess, do you have any examples of XR in the real world?
That is, the XR is the extended realities. Now, XR is actually an umbrella term, as I said previously, including all the other realities. So XR as a loose standing reality is not used in the world. It is the AR and the VR and the MR that are used. And together they are called the extended realities or the XR realities.
Wonderful.
But in real world,
So
they don't exist.
Thank you so much for clarifying that for our questioner. Second question, are there any sources or references that you would suggest for people to read and learn more about this topic?
Yes, there you've got
Absolutely
it. I've
perfect.
got my references there.
That's great. Maybe for those of you who are looking for these, would it be okay for them to screenshot this so they have the references,
Yes,
Gerdia?
of course,
Excellent.
of course. They're most welcome to.
Thank you so much.
I've used more references, but the screen is just so large.
Of course.
Yeah. But these are the most important ones.
Great. We did have another question, which was, are there any existing apps providing games related to English lessons? So I believe this is referring to other suggestions that you might have for apps that teachers could leverage for their classes. You definitely mentioned quite a few, Mentimeter and Socratic, for example. Are there any others that you didn't mention that you would also recommend?
I have done research on lots of them. But the 8 that I've, let me just go back there. The 8 that I've mentioned on this slide, those are the most popular ones at the moment in the teaching realm. So I would really recommend that if you want to use some of them, please use one of these 8. But as I said previously, make sure that the properties will suit your situation, because all of them's got different properties. Some of them are video based, some of them are quiz based. It depends on what you would like to have. The one that I like the most is the Mentimeter, the first one. And as I said, it is quick and it facilitates real-time feedback. So that is, for me, the most important one that I'm using in my classes.
Got you. We do have quite a few other questions coming through. We're not going to be able to get through them all. Let me pick out a couple from the Q&A. Okay, we have a really interesting one here, which I believe you touched on. What are the challenges of emerging technologies on our learners? Is there anything you would like to add to what you said before?
Number one is it definitely enhanced the learning skills of the learners. Learners would be able to retain much more information. They will remember things better if you utilize some of these technologies in a classroom. As I said previously, the brain is learning by making use of playing and movement and pictures and those sort of things. So it's very important that teachers should know which kind of technologies would help them or their students best to learn.
Fantastic. We have another one here. What other AI tools can we use in addition to Chat GPT? This is from Portia. I would guess things like Copilot if you're talking about Gen AI specifically. But Gerdia, what pops to your head?
Well, the 2 that I've mentioned here, I think is the most popular ones that it's used all over the world. But yes, there are some others, but I didn't mention all of them here because it's not going to be enough place for me if I have to mention all of them. But you will see in my references, you can go through my references. There will be some that you can utilize there as well, some others that I didn't mention.